Feels like that. Technology is good if it works.
Then one day trying not to say. We're live in the lecture.
Good evening, council, and welcome to the first meeting of 2023. And I'd like, on behalf of, I'd like to wish everyone a happy new year, the very best in this new year, 2023. And so on that note, we'll note that we are still meeting in the Corville Park Hall. It had been our hope that we would be in our new municipal office, the new municipal chambers, but there were a few items that were back ordered. Although today was the first day the municipal office was open. And so it is really terrific that congratulate the municipality, the staff, that they were able to maintain that schedule and open as planned today on Monday, I was going to say December 10th, January 10th. So really well done. So it won't be long and council will follow in the new chambers and the new office is really nice. The premises are big and I think the public will be pleased with the facilities. On that note, let's proceed and move with the adoption of the agenda.
Thank you. I require a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Champagne and seconded by Deputy Mayor Roy Aker. That the draft agenda presented to council and dated the 10th day of January 2023 be adopted and circulated.
All in favor? The vote carried. Thank you so much. Accepting the minutes of the previous meetings.
Mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Trahan and seconded by Councillor Kelly. That the minutes of the regular meeting of council held December 13th and December 5th and the special council meeting of December 15th, 2022 be adopted as circulated.
Simply a few comments before we proceed to vote on the, well, it's under the business horizon for the minutes. All in favor of the minutes? Thank you so much. Business arising from the minutes. I did want to make a few comments. We did hold, as Madame Clerk mentioned, our December 15th session. And so that was really good. We had a very good strategic meeting. And this, I guess it was just before Christmas, the survey was sent to online, it was placed online so that all of our citizens could complete the strategic survey. So it's still there, both on the website and on the Facebook page. And I know some of you have been circulated to the survey, the link to people you know. As I encourage you to continue to do that. People have until the 12th to complete it. As well on both the Facebook and the website, there's an invitation inviting citizens to attend an open house. So this is this Thursday here at the Corville Park Hall. It's a 5 to 7, so the timing is good as people could return from work or finish their day of activities. They could just pop in. It's an opportunity to complete the survey here on the spot, as well as to engage with both council members and staff. We will be present. And so if anyone attended 4 years ago, it will be a similar format. And I think we're serving coffee.
Correct.
And so on that note, I also wanted to mention, you did an excellent job, Mr. CEO, with the interview. There was an interview on Bay Today advising the public that we're going to have this open house. So that's good promotion. And so the intention is, following these events, that we're going to have a draft. Our staff will be putting together a draft and we will have future meeting as we look to complete the strategic plan by mid-February, just about. So well done overall. And so with that, we move forward with
Could I ask a question
we
about the minutes? Would that be okay?
okay, business arising from the minutes, yes.
Okay. Because Councillor Kelly, you mentioned something at the end of the last council meeting on December 13th about things arising from our committees and bringing it to the council. Do you remember?
Sure, I mean, remember what I
Yeah,
meant?
I wouldn't mind.
You don't
And
want?
just so I know what I'm supposed to look for
Sure.
in council meeting or
Not a problem.
to bring here. So
So the committee structure as we know it now, it's a formalized report
Mhm.
that we usually have after we start meeting. You, as time goes on, you'll find that it is very structured and it's a formal report made up by staff, and it's because staff attend our committee meetings. But sometimes there's been in cases in the past number of years,
Mhm.
that a committee will be looking at a certain direction. I know, through you, Mayor, Mr. Curtin, Greg Curtin, we've got a lot of changes on our plate right now with planning. So we're going to be looking at different directions. There's going to be a lot of education, both for the committee and the public at large, especially people looking to build a new garage, maybe a second home on a property, whatever. Because there's a lot of changes and we're not going to have the input we had. So we're going to have to change direction to a certain extent. And it'll be informal at the start of it. So what I would look at doing as the chair, I would come back and say to council, just letting you know, we've got a lot of pushback against the new format, but there's little we can do because we're governed by our you know, the government is sitting in Toronto, provincial, and right now they're looking at 50,000 new homes in the next 3 or 4 years, so. There's going to be, so what I'm asking for is any of the committees and roads and so forth, just give us an idea of the direction it's going, because what we happen in a small community is word of mouth spreads faster than the written word. And so we'll hear as council members, we'll be approached by the public. And if we say, oh, I have no idea what's going on, it's kind of a blind side. But if the committee members can just say, here's the direction we're looking at and we're considering, nothing in stone, but we're considering it, then it gives everybody on council a heads up and we're all on the same page. So that's what I meant. It was just, there's formal communications and that would be an informal communication. And I put it under new business because normally new business, oh, there's no new business. But if it's informal, just gives you an idea what's going on. Because we can't all sit on all the committees. It would tie up a lot of time. And it would be unwieldy with so many people. So that's what I meant.
So an example would be like Bill 23. People
The impact it's having,
and the community is coming up, and so then,
exactly.
okay,
Because for planning, for instance, we've depended so much on the Mattawa Conservation Authority, who are basically handcuffed. We can't even ask them for advice
Mhm.
on a lot of matters that pertain to us, because we've got 3 lakes in our municipality. And the quality and purity of them is of utmost importance to anyone in the area, but they can no longer we can't even phone them and say, what do you think about this? What about development there? For example. Okay?
good, yeah, thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
Any further comments? No? Okay, thank you so much. Good question, good discussion. Item 5, declarations of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest thereof. There being none, chair's comments, a few other comments. Simply to mention that the municipal calendars have been sent out to through bulk mail to all of our residences and businesses in East Ferris. And this calendar is absolutely excellent, as we so many of us have mentioned in the past. I personally look to it for information on when the garbage is being picked up, especially around holiday times. And so we always keep it nearby. And so if there are people that don't have their calendar, they can go to the municipal office. There's extra calendars that can be picked up. So please advise council members, citizens, if you are approached and you can advise them accordingly to obtain a copy at the municipal office.
There's also a digital copy on our website. So anyone who wants it digitally or they can print it on their own if they wanted a larger size than what's there, but it's on the website as well.
What's that?
Also, just throw it out there too, I'll throw myself on these buses, if anybody that does not get over to Corbeil very often. And if somebody over in the Astro side, please call myself, Steve Hand. I'll pick you up a calendar and I'll hand deliver it to the residents if they don't have wheels or they don't get over on this side. Whatever, so I imagine everybody would probably do the same for residents too, so we can offer that also.
Excellent. Excellent. So on that note, my number 2 point was just to mention it, Monsieur Trottier, the new office you moved in today. I just thought maybe a few words on how it went, how things are from your perspective in terms of where things stand.
Sure. So we've been working last week and this week to move some of our, the files and furniture and things like that over to the new municipal office. We opened up to the public today. I mean, it's been a fairly smooth transition. There has been a few hiccups here and there, which was to be expected. Sorry, we do have some furniture that's on back order, so furniture for like our boardroom, the meeting room that we would use to meet with the public and our council chambers. So all of that should be in within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're expecting. And then we'll be ready to go in terms of having our council meetings there. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at 25 Caliphate Road. So that's the new location for those that aren't aware. It's actually a new address that's been assigned to that building. It is in addition to the former St. Teresa School that is there as well, which is leased by the OPP. So we're in the same, on the same property. Yeah, besides that, we look forward to serving the public in the new facility. It has been quiet for the first day, but after Christmas tends to be quiet anyway, in terms of having the public come. Nobody's really thinking about building anything or getting planning applications and that. So it's been good for us to settle in and get things organized. Yeah.
Any questions regarding the move, the new location?
I just wondered, is the fire department going to take over the old,
So what's going on now is they're looking at the first floor where the 3 women used to work in the front, just opening that up to have it as a bit of a training spot for tables and chairs. And our fire chief and his administrative assistant have moved up to the 2 offices that are up at the front. So it would be Monica's old office and Greg's old office. And they've had a discussion of what they want to do inside the building in terms of making a few changes. Anything that's more costly, I would say, which is really costly, is going to be discussed at budget.
super.
So
Okay, thank you.
nothing's really proceeding that's going to cost money.
So they're actually gonna have a window to look out of.
Yeah.
Good for them.
So what we've done though now is some of the furniture is being taken apart to be repurposed at the new public works garage. So it still has to be stored there. There still has to be space for it because there's nowhere else to put it. Our attic still has files in it that have to be, the staff have to go through them and bring them to the new office. Unless our retention bylaw allows for us to destroy the documents, that's what will happen. So, yeah,
Just asking, thank you.
yeah, not a problem.
On that note, just to mention that on December 16th, we had an excellent training session. It was organized in particular by Madame Clerk, and I'd like to thank her for doing that. I believe there were 8 other municipalities that were present along with us. So it helped to offset the cost, and it was, as we know, the moderators or the 2 gentlemen that led the workshop were Fred Dean and Nigel Bellchamber. Simply to say they finished the workshop, it was really a good day overall. It was quite informative. And but at the end of the day, they talked about the challenges that we as a council may face. I just thought I would just share with you what these are. It's in they basically, I think there's 6 points. They say that most councils in Ontario in 2022, 2026 will face some of the following challenges. Capital needs will outstrip the funds that are available. Pressure to constrain operational fees, taxation, and spending will be a significant issue. External scrutiny and public distrust will increase. And so senior governments will exert pressure, and I guess that's the provincial and the federal government, on local governments for their own ends. Then council reputations will be subject to difficult to counter attacks with social media. That will be an issue that we watch, be mindful of. And the one I thought was interesting, and it made me think, neglected past issues will reemerge as bigger problems than they were. And so basically there's unknowns out there, is the conclusion, and we well know that. Anyway, so it was a good session, and thank you very much, Madame Clerk. We have another session, I believe, as well, on February 4th. All of council is invited to a session in Mattawa that will be hosted by the town of Mattawa, and that is with our municipal representative, Brian Searle. And that is as well an information session on how councils operate. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I just got word today from the municipality of Callander. They're having one too, I believe, and theirs is February 3rd, and there's no charge at all neither for council. So I'll circulate that email to council from
We've got David King as well at the end of this month.
David King, January 31st for our council.
Well, thank you so much. So all good activities in the midst of all this move, we've carried on the business of the municipality. So that's really outstanding. Well done. We have no delegations to council this meeting. And so we proceed directly with committee reports, and there basically are none, but this is the sort of session or situation I would think. Councillor Kelly, that you were referring to, even though there's no official report, it is an opportunity for the members of both committees to make a comment. So for example, Public Works and Infrastructure Committee, if Councillor Champagne and Deputy Mayor Louis Akers, you wanted to make a comment informally to keep us informed, this would be a great time to do so. So but that's how we have proceeded in that manner in the past. And I think it's a good way of, even if there's no official report, we could entertain unofficial comments from council members on this committee. We, Councillor Champagne.
Yeah, under Public Works, we're having our first meeting, I believe it's up in the 26th of January. We're trying to have it around 11 o'clock. It'll be our first meeting of the year. That's myself and Mrs. Roy Akers,
Right.
Councillor Roy Akers are going to be attending. So at that time, we're going to have an agenda and we'll have a recommendation and hopefully some direction to what we're doing and what we're going to do by our next meeting.
Community Emergency Management Committee, I don't think there's anything. Fire and Emergency Services Committee.
I spoke with Chief Amiot. He's just trying to get himself organized and with the move of the municipality, he's trying to get himself again organized and situated. They got some new members coming in. So there's some ongoing training going on with some new members, and so there's no set meeting so far. There's no need right now, so it's just trying to get himself situated first.
Planning Advisory Committee, I think the first meeting as well is being planned, when we touched on that with the.
Yes, well, I think we're gonna come budget time, I think we're gonna have to put some money aside, because if Nanawa Conservation Authority is not available for technical expertise, I think we're gonna have to hire maybe perhaps an outside consultant at times, because the quality of both lakes, actually 3 lakes when you count Lake Lake as well, but the 2 major lakes, development there and the quality of the lake is of utmost importance to everybody in the municipality. So I think we're gonna have to replace some of the quality opinions that are going to be held back. So this is far reaching. I mean, I don't know, it's just painting the whole province with one brush. It doesn't work in my opinion. I think we're going to put money aside.
There's a comment through you, Madam Mayor. Greg, I believe the Conservation Authority still has some authority on the lakes and that. It's just as far as planning issues, right?
Yes, it's well, it's complicated. So basically, as Councillor Kelly was explaining, the Conservation Authority essentially has no ability to comment on planning applications any longer. So Bill 23 had staggered implementation dates, but pretty much all of the amendments to the Conservation Authorities Act came into effect January 1st. So we are now living and working under those conditions with respect to Conservation Authority commenting procedures.
As far as water quality though, and that they're still.
So they'll continue programs that they administer as far as collecting data and doing things that fall within what the province defines as their core mandate. So they'll continue to do those programs internally, but they are no longer allowed to comment on a development application for a municipality. So for example, if a development application comes in on any of our lakes, they aren't allowed to make a comment to us with respect to water quality of the lake as a result of development. They're not allowed to make comments with respect to any impacts on wetlands, natural hazards fall into that, species at risk, they're also not allowed to comment on. Basically, the only thing they can comment on is septic systems. And there's one other one that was exactly slipping my mind at the moment. But effectively their commenting process has been almost entirely removed from the planning process for municipalities.
I believe it's stormwater.
And obviously, it's a topic for further discussion,
Oh, it is.
obviously, and it may be a topic, as you pointed out, Councillor Kelly, for budget time, and so, so good comments, and the meetings are continuing, and Councillor Trahan, you will be attending the, right, so, okay, so very good, we remain, we look forward to next steps in this journey, with the Conservation Authority and all planning issues, so.
If I may, Mayor Rushford. Greg, did you receive an email from Chitra in December? It was sent to municipal CAOs, planning boards,
The one with the overview of the changes.
a PowerPoint presentation.
So, yeah, I received the same one for Paul Scott, so. Paul-
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll add to the weekly report for council, so you can receive it on
Please,
Friday.
yes.
But I would suggest that we circulate it to the planning, you can send it to the planning committee members, just so they have it, but we'll send it to council on Friday.
Because in my opinion, we've been so dependent on the opinion of the Conservation Authority to have it removed almost in its entirety. That's concerning.
Yeah, the PowerPoint will answer all your questions on that.
Should do. It just shows what doors are closed and how do we get some of them open because it's gonna be necessitated.
Pretty much all the doors.
So on that,
It's called a block, not a building.
so look for your presentation on Friday if you haven't had a chance to take a look. And we'll come to further discussion in an organized fashion in the near future. Committee of Adjustment, I believe that goes hand in hand, there's sort of in plan. Recreation, Parks and Culture Committee, our first meeting is next week, I believe. And there are already terms of reference for the beautification project for our municipality that have been put together that will be going to the committee so they can come to council then at the next meeting. So that's moving forward. Economic Development Committee, I believe as well is being planned.
I think we're planning the 25th of January.
Yeah, the 25th of January at 9 AM.
C'est bon. And on that note, we'll touch on at the moment on an activity for speaking engagement for the related to economic development. But we come to striking committee, which is the only committee we have a formal report from this evening. And so thank you to the members of that committee for meeting on an urgent basis last week so that we could appoint our final member to the Parks, Recreation, Parks and Culture Committee. And I'm not sure if you want to mention that, Mr. Trustee, the recommendation was that we appoint send that thing to that particular committee. So I think we have a resolution.
Prepared for it. I require a mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Champagne and seconded by Councillor Kelly. Whereas the East Ferry Striking Committee recommended to council that Donna Saint Martin's application be approved to sit on the Recreation, Parks and Culture Committee for the term of council 2022-2026. Be it hereby resolved that council approves of this recommendation.
On favor? They won't carry. Thank you so much. We move now to library board. There's no report either. And I don't believe there's been any meetings either.
We had a meeting last night.
Oh, last night. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We elected our chair and I think you're treasurer
Yeah.
and Carrie is secretary, so you were
Yeah.
elected. So
So who's the chair? Oh, thank you.
now it's chair.
I'll say a story. The first time I found out I was treasurer of the library, I read a resolution that appointed me. I said, I guess I'm the treasurer of the library. They said, well, it comes with the job, Jason. So I have been for about 11 years now.
Yeah. So they finished up their surveys and so we went through how the library is being used and so that was really good. And then all the services that they provide. And so it's wonderful. Yeah. So they provide services I didn't know they provided. So one was economic, it sort of relates to economic development where they help small businesses and using to get the word out and marketing and branding and things like that. So really great programs there.
So who was elected the chair?
Joyce,
Oh, it was Joyce.
yes, Joyce, and then Christine is vice. Yeah. Nice.
Just got one comment. I just want to say, to the library board, it was a great, fundraising they did for the poinsettias. I, purchased a couple of them and they're still
yes.
alive and I'm surprised, but, it was great. And it was super. I hope they continue with that. So it was good. I don't know how well they did, but,
Superior.
I don't know if they said anything on the meeting about it, but, it was good.
And I agree with you. It's a very good quality of.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Very good. Then, on behalf of council, maybe to extend our congratulations to Christine, who's been the chair for
Number of years.
Number of years. eh?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, very dedicated.
Police Services Board, none as well, but I believe it's coming up.
Coming, I believe, January 19th.
Okay, so, great.
Just a question on that, remembering Adam, the recommendation from the other police service boards, is that gonna come up at that meeting?
We passed the resolution. We sent that resolution out, but our police services board is going to pass that resolution as well.
And then we can send those recommendations to whoever after.
They've all been sent out to all the police services board in Ontario.
Okay, so after that, because the ones we received, we can't do anything about it until your meeting. Do I-
That's right, yeah, yeah,
So
they're
those,
gonna be,
after that meeting, they'll be accepted
yeah,
there.
and
Okay.
whenever I have our police services board, the letters of support that I received from the police services board around, they will be attached to that agenda.
Councilor Champagne, I was wondering, just before Christmas, there was an excellent interview with our MVP and the all about Adam team. And I wasn't sure if you had seen it. It was in the news and it was excellent. And our MPP was saying that he was very impressed with the work that was being done and the advocacy to bring forward the opportunities for cameras to be added to the school buses. And so it was very positive. And I'm not sure if we can still find that article. I will look for it.
Pierre sent it to me.
Oh, you got, okay.
And then I passed it on to a GRA and hopefully they'll have a section out of a GRA with as far as the cameras.
Good for you. Well done.
Just one other thing, we're on board report, now that we've had, now that we're on back on the health unit after 21 years, we used to have a report on there for board reports. Maybe that should be added in there now to report. That's good.
Actually, on that note, I mean, it could be all of our boards. It's a good point you made. Maybe there's an official comment from those that are representatives on the boards and agencies. So for example, Health Board, the DSAB, North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority.
We could put it under 9 board reports, so we'll have library board, police services board, and then add like ABC board.
Yeah, or you could change the title board reports and go agencies and board reports.
Yeah,
or something
okay.
Like that,
Yeah, okay,
and whatever we do get from them. Like you're talking if they have a meeting, you want.
only if they have a meeting to
Yeah.
report.
Yeah,
What happened in the past, and I remember like, because now in the health, unit, we don't get them anymore, we used to get correspondence at one time. At least we go to the meetings and we can talk about what's going on. Sometimes you don't get them for a month or a month and a half. After that, the news is already out and people already know what's going on, so it's kind of redundant to have it then. Just have a report whenever it comes due, that's all.
So I'll put agencies and boards, and then we'll start with library, police, and then C will be conservation, North Bay Mattawa, health unit, DSAP. If there's anything to discuss, then it can be mentioned.
Boy,
Okay,
right, that's excellent. Everyone's in favor of this performance, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, departmental reports and resolutions. And so, Mr. Curtin, you've been busy. We turn it over to you. And Mr. President, did you want to introduce anything?
Greg will take it away.
We don't have those copies. I mean,
Yeah,
Well, we do it on.
you had it in your agenda, like an email I sent out.
Here's the hard copy. Did you want to look at it?
I can most of them.
So we'll make sure, you could maybe go into more verbal detail,
Sure, no
just
problem.
to make sure.
I couldn't open.
That's really
that's what I'm saying, Nick, we can't open.
We can't,
There's a
Yeah,
PDF
the
that was sent though, by
We,
email.
I couldn't open it.
oh, we, no problem.
Okay.
Did you open
Yeah,
yours?
couldn't open.
We, oh,
I couldn't
no
open
problem.
it.
Yeah, no problem.
I couldn't open up mine about an hour, so I don't know.
So,
Greg, can you read it from front to back? They're not overly long, they're both.
Read the entire report, sure,
Yeah.
no problem.
thank you. Everyone okay with that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I have 3 reports tonight. All of them are following up on either an RFP or an RFQ that we put out for various services. The first one is related to a new pickup truck for the facilities and recreation department. So I'll go ahead and just read through it then. So starting from the top. There is one amendment to this report that I guess I'll speak to once we get to it. But starting from the top, the background. So On November 29th, 2022, the municipality put out a request to regional truck dealerships to submit a quote for our RFP process. With the goal of purchasing a new crew cab 4x4 truck for use in the facilities and recreation department. This item was budgeted for in the 2022 capital budget. 5 quotes were received from 4 different dealerships before the closing date of December 13th, 2022. So in 2021, the municipality budgeted 50,000 for a new pickup truck. However, due to supply issues during COVID and extremely high pricing, the new truck was not purchased and the money was carried forward to the 2022 budget year. It is now possible to purchase a vehicle in a more reasonable time frame, but pricing does remain higher than the budgeted $50,000. So we received 5 submissions from 4 dealerships as mentioned. So we received 2 from Parkward Chrysler. The first one being the 2022 Ram 1500 crew cab 4x4. This is where the amendment is required for the report. So we have listed 27,000 kilometers as the mileage. In the bid submission from Parkward, they wrote 27K. Which was meant to be 27 kilometers. However, I took the letter K to be kind of standard notation for 1,000.
We both read it that way.
We both read it that way, Jason and I. So anyways, just to note that this is actually 27 kilometers, so it is a new vehicle, 2022 model year. And it's at a price of 49,500 plus HST. The issue with this one is that it's flame red. And our RFQ did ask for silver or similar type color because that matches with the majority of our fleet. The second vehicle from Chrysler, from Parkward Chrysler, is the 2023 Ram 1500 crew cab. It is granite crystal, which is a silver blacky type color. It is available within 4 to 8 months from now. I could have mentioned that the red vehicle is in stock right now. The second one, the 2023 Ram from Parkward, is at a price of $57,837 plus HST. The third submission was a 2022 Ram 1500 crew cab from Mac Lang in Sunridge. This one is available on January 17th, 2023. And it is silver in color. And the pricing is $60,130 plus HST. And it also comes with a set of winter tires on steel rims. The next one was from Savage Ford, and this is a 2023 F-150 XL crew cab. This is also silver and is available within 4 to 8 months. And the pricing on this one is $61,118 plus HST. And our final submission was from Tremblay Chevrolet for a 2023 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 crew cab. And this one is dark ash metallic. It's a darker kind of charcoal silvery type color. They listed availability as to be determined. So we're unsure when that would be available. And the pricing on that one was $65,481 plus HST. So reading my report, the first quote from Parkward Chrysler came in at approximately 10,000 below the other quotes. In my report, I listed that was because it was used, which, as pointed out, is incorrect. So it is red in color, which isn't in line with our RFQ and is not something we were preferring for our vehicle fleet. However, it is by far the cheapest option. And the remaining 4 quotes all represent very similar vehicles from 3 different manufacturers. All of the vehicles meet our checklist of requirements that was provided in the RFQ, and all would serve the needs of our facilities and recreation department. The 4 other vehicles represent a gap of $7,644 from the most to least expensive. So basically our biggest concern with these 4 quotes relates to availability. So of them, 2 have delivery dates of 4 to 8 months and another of delivery date of to be determined. The final one from Mac Lang and Sunridge has an availability of January 17th, 2023, so next week. It's important that the truck be available and ready to use for the start of the summer season. For the grass cutting and other parks work can be done in an efficient manner, saving times and costs for the department. Based on this, the 2022 Ram from Mac Lang would be the preferential choice to ensure that we can meet our operational needs. The downside to the 2022 Ram option for Mac Lang is that it is $2,293 more expensive than the 2023 Ram from Parkward. The additional cost is offset partially by the inclusion of the set of winter tires with the 2022 Ram from McLean. With regards to the model year, the Ram 1500 line underwent a major refresh in 2019, with an additional major overhaul seemingly planned for 2024. It does not appear that there are any significant changes between the 2022 and 2023 model years outside of general styling. So mechanical and structural components between those two vehicles in 2022 and 2023 appear to be basically identical. So weighing all of the previous information, staff recommended we purchase the 2022 Ram from Matt Lang. This is primarily based on the availability to ensure that we can make use of the vehicle as soon as possible and have it for operations leading into the spring and summer months. So that's the end of the body of my report. Given the new information about the red vehicle from Farquhar being brand new rather than used, it is worth considering in the context of the report because it is significantly cheaper. That being said, it didn't follow the submission requirements of our RFQ because it's red in color, which is specifically something that we didn't ask for.
Yeah, if I could caution one thing with that as well, was that when you allow those kinds of concessions, you could have another dealership say, well, I had a blue one, or I had a black, or I had, and nobody put those submissions in, so it's very, I would stay away from that. Caution that.
Did anybody else say I've got a 2022, like they even asked the other dealers? Like this is a 2022 we're looking at.
Yep,
Did anybody else, did we ask any other dealers and put their prices, they had a 2022 in stock brand new?
they put in whatever submission they have. Right,
We asked them to put their pricing for a brand new vehicle that met the requirements. The requirements included things like being 4-wheel drive, having a crew cab.
You didn't specify a year.
We didn't
This
specify.
is new vehicle.
It's a
Yeah.
brand new vehicle. It's a 2022 model year rather than 2023.
That's new. If you just,
Yeah.
if you specify new,
Yes, yes.
thank you.
So, one more questions, from, Mr. Curtin. Well, on that note, then, do we table then the recommendation, do we proceed then with, for any further discussion?
Well, it's $10,000 cheaper.
for
22.
flame red,
Yeah.
But the point is, I guess, did you want to repeat what you, last, right?
well, when we start making concessions like that,
We should go back and open it all up.
well, then we should open it up, because now if we accept something like that, we could have a dealership, and if we had one local, that would even be worse to say. Okay, well, I had a 2022 that was brand new, but it didn't match your color that you requested in the RFQ, so I didn't put it forward. So we're kind of making those concessions, right?
So the request was the color.
Yes,
So that was part of our key requirement that it match a certain color. And red was not the color that was listed. So I have to agree with Jason, that I think it could be a bad precedent or get us into not, basically.
And I made them, the granite crystal wouldn't have, that wouldn't make the cut either, would it?
So our RFQ said silver or similar color. The granite crystal is more of a black type.
That's what I thought, yeah.
That's the same color as what Maris is driving, I believe.
the top part of their fleet as well as Parks and Rec have a somewhat, like, they have a different color than Public Works. We want to kind of keep it in with one of those, right? So we've got white vehicles and we've got kind of charcoal, right? That's our colors, right?
The only thing that bothers me is that this shouldn't even been put in the equation. It should have been taken right out and we never even look at it.
I don't disagree with you on that
Yeah,
point.
so
It
we
wasn't
should-
eligible in that sense.
Exactly.
Right.
It shouldn't even been put
Yeah,
into play
I
and
do agree.
we wouldn't have a decision to make.
Yeah, definitely, right.
Well, we could do it that way in the future, but in one way, I mean, this is full transparency,
Right, exactly.
right?
So let's table it and we'll proceed with it.
Okay, I'll read the resolution.
Well,
Um,
is there any more conversation first?
Why, okay, I did ask, pardon me, I did ask, are there any further questions?
I was just gonna say, I agree with you, it's just with that one there, it's like 4 to 8 months to come at minimum, and who knows, right? Just
Well, the other one's available, Steve, I believe, is
Yeah.
Council Tran is believably on the 17th, which is next week.
yeah,
Yeah.
But you're $10,000 more, but I guess what I'm saying
Yeah.
is it shouldn't even be part of the equation, that's all.
Well, that's what come off in the future, we would just leave it out. I mean, there would be a couple in this case, like.
Because it, like, by definition, doesn't qualify.
Yeah.
If I may,
that's right.
you know, When it comes to, my own personal experience, I ordered a brand new Acadia a year and a half ago. And I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
So when they say 4 to 8 months, I put a question mark at the end of it.
Well, that's why we stayed away in all honesty, council, with that 4 to 8 months, because. You know, even if we accepted 8 months, 8 could be 12.
It's like a fire truck, right?
Yes,
Yeah, for red, and they say, well, we got a yellow one.
yeah, we got a deal for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Right, I
right.
mean, and it's 10 grand cheaper.
I don't like spending more money than I have. to.
No,
I'm
yeah.
just saying the same thing, is that it's not what we asked for. It's $10,000 less, but
Yeah.
Any further comments or questions? Discussion? Okay, on that note, Madam Clerk, we proceed.
Thank you. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Tavana and seconded by Councillor Champagne. The Council for the Municipality of East Ferris accepts a recommendation from the Director of Community Services contained in report number COM 2023-01 and approve the purchase of the vehicle outlined in the bid by McLean Sunridge for a total purchase price of $60,130 plus HST.
All in favor? Devon, carried. Thank you so much. We'll proceed then with the next report, the item B.
Thank you very much, Ruth. The second report today is a follow-up to an RFP that was issued for the kitchen renovation that we're working on at the East Ferris Community Center and Arena. So I'll do the same thing as I did for the previous report and just read it in full. So starting with the background section, the municipality of East Ferris issued an RFP in early November 2022 for renovations to the kitchen at the East Ferris Community Center and Arena. This work is part of a larger project the municipality received 100% funding from the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation for, including the repairs to the arena roof trusses and upgrading of lighting systems to LED. In accordance with our funding requirements, the municipality is looking to complete the kitchen renovations in the early part of 2023. A mandatory site visit was held for the RFP submission process on November 17, 2022. 7 people representing 5 organizations attended the site visit. Following the site visit, the municipality released an addendum to the RFP document, addressing follow-up questions and setting a submission deadline of December 16, 2022 at 4 p.m. Only one submission was received through the RFP process. This submission was from Kennewax Construction Company, which was received on December 16, 2022 at 1:42 p.m. The total price for all work in the submission was $252,850 plus HST. The submission includes an entire remodel of the existing kitchen space, including full replacement of cabinetry and countertops with stainless steel commercial kitchen equipment, redesign of the kitchen space to optimize flow and usability, additional door to be added for an in-outdoor system, 2 portable pantry storage units will be added, ceramic tile walls and commercial rubberized kitchen flooring. All new appliances, including dishwasher, range/cooktop, and 2 fridges, and all of those will be commercial stainless steel kitchen quality. 2 new grease interceptors, renovation of the adjacent room, including new flooring, wall finishing, and window coverings. All necessary electrical, plumbing, and general contracting work required to build and install all finishes and appliances. And all necessary architectural, engineering, structural design, and project management work required to carry out the project. And all work is to be completed by April 30th, 2023. The summary of the work to be provided was accompanied by a detailed submission with examples of a variety of the proposed installations, including all the appliances, cabinetry, sinks, plumbing fixtures, and a variety of related materials. Kennewax has a reputable history of carrying out similar development projects in the area, as well as larger development projects for the municipality. Based on the detailed information included in the submission, staff is of the opinion that the RFP submission checks the boxes required in our RFP document and will result in a good final project that will be on time and on budget. The final financial implications, this project would not have any direct financial implications for the municipality, as it will be covered through the funding that we've already received from NOHFC. The kitchen renovation was part of the application that was made to NOHFC for other work that included the previously mentioned arena roof renovations, which were completed in 2021. The cost proposed by Kennewax in the RFP submission is within the budget of the remaining $261,344,000 that is budgeted through NHFC for this project. So the recommendation is that the municipality of East Ferris enter into an agreement with Kenelex to have the kitchen remodeling work done at the East Ferris Community Center and Arena at a total cost of $252,850 plus HST, as outlined in the RFP submission package received on December 16th, 2022.
Thank you. Any comments or questions of Mr. Kirby?
Yeah, the biggest comment I have is this to be done by, has to be done by April 30th. Is there a reason for that? Because we got Carnival coming in 4 weeks.
So we've been in contact with the Carnival Committee and we've set up an alternate arrangement for them to do Carnival without the use of the kitchen.
How are they gonna do that? You have to explain that to me.
We've met with Eric Point
Yeah,
and discussed it, and they've come up with alternative arrangements. There's no issue at this time.
It's a difficult year to change the plan, I guess, for Carnival, but it does allow us to proceed and make use of our funding dollars, and there will be a brand new kitchen for Carnival next year.
I realize that, but I'm just playing the devil's advocate. I know we're gonna hear about it.
But it's already been out there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they've come and they've met in person. Certainly, one of the things that the Carnival Committee is saying, Councillor Champagne, is, I mean, to some extent, the issue for the kitchen have been significant with the Carnival Committee in the past. So they're absolutely delighted that the municipality is addressing the concerns. I mean,
Not
the
here.
poster, there's lists, from what I understand, that the breakers of, so they're very happy with that. And they have found alternate solutions and they're satisfied and they're moving forward. And the municipality is assisting in making that, happen.
Yeah, and we can just point out a few of them. I mean, we've had the discussion of utilizing the kitchen and gymnasium next door to the school, so that's an alternative. They are getting the canteen area, which in past years, they've not been able to use the canteen because we had canteen operators. So they always felt like there was a bit of competition there. So they did all their cooking and serving upstairs because they weren't allowed to go against the canteen. So there's no longer a canteen operator. So they think there's actually an opportunity, a good opportunity there to make more money because you're right on the main floor out of the canteen. So they have ideas of pre-made sandwiches and even breakfast sandwiches, like on the go, kind of grab and go. They still plan to do a pancake breakfast. So the thoughts was utilizing as well maybe the Craven Club kitchen. They've talked to Perron's Fresh Mart about actually bringing in Bunsen burners and actually having them part of Carnival. It's only 1 year is what we're trying to address.
This is a compromise for 1 year.
Correct, right? So we did tell them, have your discussions, come forward to the municipality in the future if there's any other concerns, and we'll work with them. The idea is it's a group of volunteers. We don't want to discourage them from, and it's a new group, right? So anyone who's been part of something in the first year doesn't work well, you feel like just kind of getting out of the situation, right?
The
So
concern
we'll look to work
obviously,
with them.
the concern obviously is, in my opinion, and I know most people around here have volunteered there, as it's a major fundraiser.
Yeah.
The kitchen,
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's.
and it's ongoing because people, I mean, I've seen them we've all seen 4 or 5 people wind up deep. Watching and then send somebody over and they pick up a couple of hot dogs, whatever,
Yeah,
and it's ongoing, so. It'd be a major change,
Yeah.
but, because it is a fundraiser.
oh, for sure. And what we looked at, Councilor Kelly is looking to, for the carnival to rent like a hot dog warming machine. And also, back in the day, Lucy Gong, had the fry making machine. It wasn't the deep fryer, right? Because you can't have it in the canteen. So those kinds of, they're actually excited about that because they said fries make good money. It's a good seller. There's been talks about working with Dennis at the Fresh Mart for their sea pies because sea pie is big. They run out every year. So what they've talked about is maybe for this year, kind of catering that out to Dennis because he's allowed to prepare that in his establishment and then bring it on location.
Okay.
So they seemed, I think at first it was a bit of a shock and they were upset. But then they've come around and we've met with them.
We all know
And
what's
they-
needed. We all know what's needed. There's no question about that.
That's right. And the reason for April 30th having it done, because we've got to get the funding spent. We had asked for an extension and it went to April 30th.
Okay.
If for some reason we felt, there was delays due to supply chain, we could go back to NHFC to look for an extension, but I really don't want to go that route because we've gotten one extension,
Okay.
right? So, but the carnival seems to be good. Eric has mentioned that he will be meeting this week with this group. And they will come forward to us if there's any
Great.
future concerns.
Okay.
So we obviously want to work with them, and make sure it's successful.
Like, that was the reason I was asking why it have to be, this have to be done by the 30th. Like, we haven't seen none of this. This is the first I heard it. And I'm from-
Mhm.
I was on a rec committee, never heard nothing about it, so.
Okay, good. No, bases are covered. Thank you.
Nothing else.
You were heard, certainly all the concerns from the rec committee have been significant and well, it's all good. So I think, on that note, I think we're okay to proceed, Madam Clerk.
Okay,
Uh,
I require a mover and a seconder. By Deputy Mayor Roy Aker and seconded by Councillor Kelly. The Council for the Municipality of East Ferris accepts the recommendation from the Director of Community Services contained in report number COM 2023-02 and enter into an agreement with Kenelex to have the kitchen remodeling work done at East Ferris Community Center and Arena at a total cost of $252,850 plus HST as outlined in their RFP submission package received December 16, 2022.
All in favor? Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone's understanding. It certainly, it caught everyone by surprise when everyone realized the dates and the significance. So we've worked it through and I congratulate Mr. Kirkman and Mr. Fitzy. On that note, we'll move forward with item number 3.
Thank you, Mayor Esper. The third and final report that I have tonight is another RFP related report. So this is following up on one that we issued related to cleaning services, municipal facilities. So with moving into the municipal office and the public works garage under construction, it was a good time to review our existing contracts and basically go over for RFP and look for new submissions to make sure we get the best services possible. So we put out a new RFP and we received 2 submissions, but I'll read this report in full as I have for the last 2. So starting with the background on this one, the municipality of East Ferris released an RFP for cleaning services for a number of our facilities in mid-November 2022. Staff initiated the review of our cleaning services contracts to coincide with our move into the new municipal office in January 2023. The RFP was seeking bids from cleaning service providers for 5 municipal facilities, including the new municipal office, the former municipal office / fire hall, the Corville Park Hall, the OPP training facility, so the former St. Teresa School, the new public works garage, which would be the administrative area of that building only. Our current cleaning services provider was notified that we were releasing RFP and they were invited to submit a proposal. They notified the municipality that due to staff shortages, they have not decided not to participate in the bidding process and would seek providing services when a new provider was chosen. The RFP included tweaks to the cleaning schedule to better suit the needs of each facility, as well as a new cleaning schedule developed to fit the needs of the municipal office. Staff posted a mandatory walkthrough of all municipal facilities subject to the RFP on November 24th, 2022, with the exception, of course, of the future public works garage, which is under construction. 4 representatives from 4 different cleaning companies were present at the walkthrough. Submissions in response to the RFP were due by 2 p.m. on December 12th, 2022. Staff received submissions from 2 of the companies present at the walkthrough. Each submission contained a complete breakdown of costs associated with each facility as requested, and each submission indicated how they would be capable of meeting the cleaning objectives outlined in the RFP document. So the submissions were as follows. We received one from Wild Cherry Cleaning, owned by Nicole Lockhart, and one from RJ Janitorial Services, owned by Rosie and Jake Fair. Starting with Wild Cherry Cleaning, their total price for the year for the Corville Park Hall was $18,700 plus HST. For the fire hall, it was $23,700 plus HST. Public works facility was $19,200 plus HST. New municipal office was $54,173.48. I'll stop saying plus HST, but they all are plus HST. The OPP training facility was $35,600. And that totaled to a total yearly fee for all 5 facilities of $151,333 $673.48. RJ Janitorial Services had a yearly fee for the Corbeil Park Hall of $5,400. For the fire hall, $4,920. The Public Works Facility, $3,600. The new municipal office, $14,400. And the OPP training facility at $19,800. And that combines for a total yearly fee for all 5 facilities of $48,120. So each cleaning company that submitted a bid has the required insurance and additional coverage that we require, as well as references from existing clients and a history of successful work in the cleaning field. Each proponent is indicated in their submission package so that they are able to meet the required cleaning schedule for all facilities as outlined in our RFP document. Based on the submission information included, staff recommend that council proceed with an agreement with RJ Janitorial Services for cleaning services. So the financial implications, the RFP process to select a new company to provide cleaning services will result in municipalities spending additional money beyond what we currently spend on cleaning. So the recommended option of $48,120 represents an increase of $27,483 over our total cleaning spent in 2022. So in 2022, we spent $20,636. It is difficult to compare the cost directly due to significant differences between the cleaning regime and the one proposed to the RFP. So we're adding 2 full new facilities, being the new municipal office and the public works garage. And we're also adjusting the cleaning schedule for the OPP training facility to increase frequency and add additional tasks at their request. So these facilities represent the majority of floor area. And they weren't represented in our past cleaning services agreement, so it does make sense to see a significant increase. So to provide a general comparison, the recommended option from the RFP process indicated a fee of approximately $30,000 for cleaning for the facilities that were cleaned in 2022. So the remaining $18,000 beyond what we spent is entirely dedicated to new facilities that have not been provided. We have not had cleaning services for in the past. So when you break it down, in conjunction with recent inflation related price increases, as well as our past contract having pricing dated back to 2016 that was locked in from then, we staff are of the opinion that the recommended option does represent a fair value for money for cleaning services.
Let me mention one thing as well, the OPP training facility cleaning costs are covered through the lease.
Yes.
So we pay, we get reimbursed. Just to point that out.
Okay, thank you so much, really, Councillor Champagne.
All right, I'm kind of blown away here. I remember back when we had 3 staff in the arena and we cleaned this place, the arena, and as you go, we hired extra staff for that reason. Now, I don't know how many staff we got at the arena, but why are we paying now for Corbeil Park Hall, Public Works Facility, the municipal office, the OPP? I understand the OPP because we're getting our money back, but why are we cleaning the Corbeil Park Hall and it was already part of the package before?
It's,
Okay.
yeah, so if I may, Councilor Champagne, we've not added anything new to it. The former cleaners were cleaning this place as well.
When did this start happening?
Well, for sure 2016 and on, but it might have been earlier than that. The only thing that's changed over the years for cleaning services is that at the start, when we brought on new cleaners, they were cleaning the offices of Public Works Garage. And it was decided not to. Like Antoine, I know in the budget said that they would take care of their own cleaning. What ended up happening with that though was it wasn't clean. So now with the new facility, the thoughts are is at least the administrative side and not the garage bays should be professionally clean. I mean, we've got unionized equipment operators, and I mean, it's not part of their job to be cleaning facilities. I would say right now that before staff at the arena, it varies with the summer, but how are we gonna take on, how would they take on all that work when they've not done that work, right?
Well, I'm talking about all of
So-
them, I'm talking just like Corbeil Park Hall.
Yeah,
Because I remember then back in, you know, when that was not long ago that we said we need some extra staff because of this reason. You know, they're not too busy, but they're busy enough, but they can do cleaning, they can do snow, they can do grass cutting, they do everything else. Now we're just kind of taking work away.
So
I'm just being biased, not biased, I'm just being all shocked also because I've never seen this stuff till now. We should have an opportunity to see this before the meeting.
And being honest, it had been said, we did have a technical, your point's well made, Councilor Champagne. We did have technical problems as we realized. And I mean, something could be, if there's a need for people to take the time to review items, we can have them brought back at a future meeting. That's not an issue. But this afternoon, Madame Clerk, she did send everyone an agenda package in a PDF.
Yes.
Yesterday, yes, in a PDF form, like in our email, so it was
Yeah.
there in the email, but I appreciate everyone's got busy lives and not everyone can see things. If you would like, could we, if we had to postpone it to our next meeting, is that was a problem for you?
We don't.
Yeah.
Um,
Our current cleaning staff ceased their operations on December 31st. So we haven't had cleaning services for our facilities.
I think it's just,
Yeah.
it's my opinion, so I
Yes.
just, everybody's got their opinion, I've got mine.
One thing, if I may as well, Councilor Champagne, that the Parks and Rec staff still clean this throughout the week, like before, after meetings. We know we've had to have them in before, just say exercises or line dancing. The company comes in on Sunday to do the entire floor, so you wash. So they do once a week kind of thing to supplement what's already being done.
Because our volunteers do it on a regular basis, people using the hall.
They're supposed to tidy up after themselves.
They sweep up and.
Yeah, but for municipal meetings and that, we've had our staff come in, so they usually come in like tomorrow, they will be in here. They sweep and wash because another user comes in the Golden Age Club, right? So they are still assisting with that. If they didn't do that, we would have a cleaner and probably more often, even during the week for spot cleaning and that. Beyond this facility, I mean, like, over the years, there's not been changes. Like, this is the first time we reviewed the RFP for cleaning services and made tweaks to it.
So a few questions, and if we look at the 48,000, who is our current team? This is not the same provider.
No.
A new provider.
Yeah.
The existing provider did not bid?
No.
No, okay. So in the 48,000.
Yeah.
We can deduct 19,000, correct?
18,000.
18,000, so it brings us to 30,000, sorry. And we're saying that this year, so basically in the past year, on an annual basis, if we exclude the OPP, how much would it have been on a, if I,
Yes,
On an annual
we looked at 2022 as 30,000
correct?
and we're going to 48,000. We've added 2 facilities, but we've got to remember, and I'm not sure how we kind of got away with it, but in 2016, when they bid on the cleaning, there was nothing in the contract that allowed for a 2% increase or CPI.
Correct.
They've just never increased the prices. So you're gonna look. That's like almost 8 years ago, just say, or 7 years ago. Plus with inflation now, the current company doesn't have the staff to support our facilities. That's why they didn't bid on the job.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so. So everyone's comfortable with the numbers?
What's the? For them to just sweep in here, is that what they're doing, or is there more to this?
They have a cleaning schedule for all facilities that includes sweeping definitely, but then washing all the floors, and then they have annual tasks like waxing certain floors. They do all the bathrooms, they clean all like window coverings, window sills, any wall related things. It's like a full deep clean of the facility.
Right. Yeah. So some are weekly tasks and some are annual.
And they do garbages, recycling, bring all that stuff out, sanitize, like where required, things like that.
I'm not actually a micromanager, all I'm saying is in the past, it didn't cost us much to get this done, all of a sudden, this is kind of a shock. We look at it now, if I had a chance to look at it yesterday or the day before, whenever I kind of absorb it, and if I had any questions, I could ask the questions.
Yeah.
Right now, it's in black and white in front of us, we have to make a decision on spending $150.
Well, no, we don't. If council decides, we can have it postponed to our next
We
meeting.
can't, because we won't have any,
Well, yes, we.
Just to clarify, Councilor Champagne, the
$30,000.
$151,000 was one of the submissions, but the other submission that we're recommending was 48,000.
So if you
So
take off OPP at 18, you're left with 30. I couldn't get a staff now for 30,000.
again, they didn't have the opportunity to look at it, I was looking, it was 151,000, which is a hell of a shock to me.
no,
$30,000.
Yeah. 30,000.
I just looked at this, we went,
Oh,
it makes sense to me.
no, we're not recommending.
48. 48 one and then minus 19.
So you can understand where I'm sitting from, I just look at this number,
Yeah.
and I'm okay.
Yeah, well, the
It's
first
incredible.
number is shocking.
It's shocking.
Well, it's not. I'll be honest, I made a phone call to one of them to clarify pricing because I was surprised by the difference.
Right.
But the one we're selecting is more in line with what our current provider was, if you look at inflation and, you know, cost of living, the additional facilities. So that one then made sense to me, right? But I mean, it's a submission.
It's in line.
Yeah.
I think, and you know, we're just discussing here. I think it's in line myself.
Yeah, okay.
It's basically $6,000, so.
Yeah.
May I ask another question? If we're not satisfied with the service in the contract, there's a clause that allows us to annul.
So we haven't signed the contract.
Yeah.
What we're requesting tonight is the council give us direction to enter into a contract with them, and we'll make sure that there's some type of release
Yeah.
clause on both sides.
Yeah, we also don't pay the cleaning supplies and that, it's provided by them.
Yes.
So just.
Oh,
to let
but,
you know.
okay, we
Yeah.
don't supply these.
Yeah.
That's-
We've provided minimal things in the past, like very large garbage bags.
Right,
That we have if they want to put the smaller ones within it, but they've brought those as well. They bring their vacuum, they bring their mops and buckets, like we don't provide that. And that's why when you start stripping, waxing the floor, we don't provide the machines, they bring that in. They do the wax, they provide the wax, so.
that's a good price.
The only really thing we look at is we pay our own toilet paper and like paper towel in the washrooms and that,
Exactly.
but it's provided, so that's in there as well.
Anyway, so I apologize for that, because I was looking at that number.
No, okay, yeah, that's
But
been.
it is confusing when we just got it and then make a decision on
Yeah,
it. Thank you.
exactly.
And it's just no one's, and we're not pointing, no one's pointing a finger because
We.
our facilities were there.
That's Monica's fault.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not pointing a finger.
No, no.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I'll be honest with you, when I saw the 150, I said, I could hire a couple staff and do it all internal and still
Well,
save money.
You see where I'm coming from, I'm saying, that's all I saw here.
Yeah, because I can look at,
No,
yeah,
it's in line. The second.
good.
A good discussion, council. On that note, we'll proceed then with the member.
Thank you. I require a mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Trahan and seconded by Deputy Mayor Roy Aker. The Council for the Municipality of East Ferris accepts the recommendation from the Director of Community Services contained in report number COM 2023-03 and enter into an agreement for cleaning services in 5 municipal facilities with RJ Janitorial Services as outlined in their request for proposal submission dated December 7, 2022.
All in favor? The motion carried. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mr. Curtin. And on that note, we proceed to item 11, notice of motions. There are none. Bylaws. We come to bylaw. I guess that you could just proceed and put forward, I guess, the resolution.
The first two bylaws are standard bylaws at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So I require a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Trahan and seconded by Councillor Kelly. Whereas Council for the Municipality of East Ferris deems it expedient to pass 3 readings of the following bylaw at this session, be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to authorize temporary borrowing from time to time to meet current expenditures during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023, be ready first, second, and third time passed in number 2023-01, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
All in favor? The motion carries. So much.
Just for council information, that's basically a line of credit. It allows us to borrow to continue operations.
Right.
And we're approved for a $1.3 million line of credit. So that's the maximum. we can do.
That'll cover the billions.
Second bylaw, I require a mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Trahan and seconded by Councillor Kelly. Or no, I meant Trahan, that way.
They look very good. I can see you getting confused.
Whereas Council for the Municipality of East Ferris deems it expedient to pass 3 readings of the following bylaw this session, be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to provide for interim tax rates for the year 2023 be read a first, second, and third time passed in number 2023-02, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
All in favor? The motion carries. Thank you so much. And now item number C, a bylaw to enter into an agreement. Let's table it, then we'll turn it over to Mr. Trustee to make a comment.
Mover in a second, please. Sure. Moved by Councillor Kelly and seconded by Councillor Champagne. Whereas council for the municipality of East Paris deems it expedient to pass 3 readings of the following bylaw this session, be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to enter into an agreement with the Ontario Trailman Foundation for active transportation paved trail along McPherson Drive to Highway 17 be ready first, second, and third time, passed and numbered 2023-03, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
Thank you so much. Mr. Trustee, comments?
Yes, so this agreement, this project is paved shoulders McPherson Drive from the park all the way to Highway 17. And then the idea is that it links to paved shoulders along 94 to this location here, the Corville Park Hall or the Corville Park Recreation Hub. It's quite a big project. So we've got 3 funding applications on the top for this. We've got the one with Infrastructure Canada for just over 1.1 million or about 1.1 million. And then we've got one submitted to NOHFC for $500,000, and this one here is 150,000. So the idea with it is that back when council was discussing this project, they said if we get all 3 funding applications, we would proceed with the project. So this is the smallest of the 3.
And what was, I'm sorry, what was the amount of the smallest, please?
This is 150,000 for
Very good.
from
This is
the-
150,000 of trade.
from Trillium Foundation. And then we've put an application forward to NOHFC for 500,000. The response we received back was we need to get a confirmation from Infrastructure Canada, the largest funding agency. Once we receive that, then we'll push your application forward to the board, is what the response was. And then the one for Infrastructure Canada was about 1.1 million, close to that.
Is any word on that? Has that been,
One of the items we'll be discussing in camera this evening.
very good, thank you.
Okay,
Yep.
the idea with this one as well is we're just entering into a contract. There's no money given to us at this point, and even if there is money given to us, because at a certain point, they will say, here's some of the money. If we were not to proceed with the funding applications, we would simply return the money to them.
Okay, thank you,
So this is one of 3 items.
thank you.
Wait,
Just a question to, just, I have no issue with this, as far as the trail or the shoulder goes, but is that gonna hurt us if we want funding for another road, or if we're going Quakeway Road, or for another road down? Is that gonna hurt them?
It shouldn't,
How do you do
because all of these 3 funding agencies do not fund road work. So I know HFC doesn't fund roads, neither does Trillium. They're more recreation based, economic development, you know, the studies, things like that. Infrastructure Canada was strictly active transportation funding. We received, it's a federal program, Infrastructure Canada's, so they don't fund those either. So it shouldn't in any way. I mean, you can still start talking politics, and if you get into government saying there's only so much money to go around, we've given some to East Harris already. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's no chance it doesn't affect us, but in one way, we're getting money. It's hard to say no to it, especially if we get all 3, right? So.
Okay,
You said we're having a conversation with this.
In camera this evening.
Other comments or questions? All in favor?
We have one second, I just want to have a recorded vote on this.
Sure.
Please.
Okay, so I'm gonna go in order of, well, I'm gonna grab my favorite.
point of order, wouldn't it be advantageous to go in camera, discuss this, and then make a,
We could do that, no doubt.
if
Yeah.
there's something that's going in camera and we're getting information
We could do that.
concerning
That's,
this.
if council's in agreement, it might be a good way to proceed.
May I recommend one way? Can we move this item?
Oh, we
to
move
after
this
in
item
camera?
after in camera.
And
That's
so-
a better, yes.
Yes,
Oh, you
please.
could.
Because if not, we'll be going into camera, coming
Yes.
out and possibly
Yes.
going back in.
I think that's a
I'm just
better,
thinking to the residents
Okay.
watching on YouTube,
No.
we're gonna have to cut the video and that, so if
Yeah.
everyone's okay with
it's
that.
a better
Okay.
recommendation.
So let's put the item after. in camera.
Yes.
I'll
Okay.
keep the
Motion.
noted for the recorded vote, Councillor Tanya, so when we return, are you okay with that?
I just have a question, going back to item B, provide the interim tax rate. What is the tax rate?
Yeah, so what this allows us to do, Council Champagne, is send out interim tax bills. So it's 50% of last year's taxes. So in January, it used to be February, we sent out the bills, they were due in March and April. We now send them out in January, and they're due in February and March. That was to line up, that was a change we did, I think this is our second year. It's to line up because at the end of March, our first levy is due to the school boards. And it's quite substantial, it's about $400,000. But what was happening, we were collecting those funds after making the payment to the school board. So we lined up our cash flow to get the cash in when it's basically due to them. So bills go out in January, due February, March, and it's 50% of last year.
At this stage last year.
Yeah, and then what happens after budget's passed and we get into our tax rate bylaw, that'll be based on the 2023 budget. They'll get a tax bill less what they paid for the January bill is the difference. That's the
Okay.
final tax bill.
The reason I'm asking, I'm going back to what we talked about at the beginning of the meeting, in the past, we didn't have. We weren't online. So people didn't really understand, we didn't have to basically say why, what the tax rate is or anything else, so. I guess we constant ourselves, we gotta be more active and let people know what's going on. It's nice to have it here, but people are gonna say, well, what's the rate?
Yeah.
Unless we let them know.
Right.
Before, there was nobody sitting here, so it didn't really matter. Now the world's watching. So.
Yeah. I'm not sure if a municipality that does it any differently. Everyone sends out a bill for interim taxes. That's to get us cash flow, to start operating a municipality before budgets are passed and that, so. Yeah. Yeah, and everyone does it, and I believe it's a municipal act item. It's 50% of prior year. It's dictated to us.
And then in the past, we used to get the phone calls, as soon as it started coming in, well, what's our tax rate, and we have to find out, and have to. Okay, thank you.
So, say, good discussion. So on that note, we move to correspondence and information items and Deputy Mayor Riakers, if there's any items that you'd like to mention or bring forward for further discussion.
Okay, well, I just wanted to congratulate Councillor Kelly for being nominated and,
Oh, thank you, yes.
you know. Okay.
No, those are two of the municipalities I represent on Phnom.
Yeah.
So there's 2 or 3 more to come in if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, and then I guess the training, we had a training in January, or sorry, December. And would it be advantageous to go to a second training? That's one question I was like with the Mattawa.
So on that note, maybe that might be a discussion we may want to have with Madam Clerk.
Okay.
For,
So later.
yes, that's a good discussion to be had.
Because when you see the letter I'm gonna send you tomorrow from the municipality of Callender, I believe it's with municipal affairs as well. So it'd be probably simpler to go to Callender than to go to Mattawa.
Calendar's in a different district. Here Sound.
Oh, so they would
So
be,
they would likely get a different representative unless Brian Searle represents Perry Sound as well. I don't believe he does. And then
are they
Brian,
very sound for?
Calendar is Perry Sound.
Okay, yeah.
So they likely have their municipal representative from municipal affairs.
So you'd be best with Mattawa.
Yeah, I mean, either or, they should be sharing the same information,
Yeah.
as black, municipal act.
Yeah.
But our representative Brian Searle will be in Mattawa.
The comments and.
And I guess,
The training would be good, though, if that's what the question is.
Yeah.
Roy Ackers, because Brian Searle is municipal affairs, Fred Dean and Nigel Bellchamber were more from. I mean, they have different lens, one's a lawyer who worked for the city of Sudbury, and Nigel was a treasurer for municipalities as well. So they look at it from a municipal perspective, Brian Searle looks at it from the provincial legislative perspective. So those are those pieces, and then David King, who's coming at the end of this month, integrity commissioner, a whole different role.
Mhm.
So all that training, I mean, it's valuable, so. Even if you've seen it before, it's a good refresher, but it's different perspective from different bodies, basically.
and then, I guess the municipality of Tweed and the natural gas. What would they be, are they looking for support for that? Is that?
Yes, that's correct, yes.
Okay, so we bring that one forward for support.
Yeah, that's be good. We don't have any natural gas ourselves, so that's the issue. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
So that
I see it.
I would look at a calendar and that potentially, I believe they might be on that.
There's a little section.
Maybe 4 or 5
That's
addresses.
when it's the Eglinton and
Actually, up
So-
to up to 194 and 17.
Yeah.
we could bring it on their behalf if we wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do they have propane here? Is that? what-
Heating well,
Heating oil,
propane,
wood, gas, electric.
Okay.
yeah,
Ground source heat pumps.
yeah. And just a bit of information as well, there's only 9 residents of East Ferris that border Callender that get water services from Callender as well. 9
No,
residents.
I could.
So basically how it works, they pay us taxes, both their water bills, they pay Callender, they get a bill from Callender.
So it's limited.
Okay. So we wouldn't do anything about that then? Okay. Anyway, sorry, I read it all, so. I did. Yeah, so if I'm being bothersome here.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And then, okay. Crimes, I guess the leeches, should that be brought forward now?
Well, we will be touching on that. I mean, we could do it now, reach, and so, I mean, that's certainly, an opportune time, I think, maybe, so yes, let's do that. That was the delegation we received at our last council meeting. It was Merv and Pauline Leach, I believe, for their names, and we received additional correspondence from them. And,
I haven't seen it.
we are concerned that not all council members have
Right.
seen it, so, and so on that, we'll defer it, okay, so I encourage, yes,
Yeah.
and, staff will see about, very good,
The
very
3rd
good,
of January 24th.
Yeah, okay.
thank you.
And then, the Crime Stoppers declaring, is that?
That's regular basis, and I have that coming this evening for a resolution, because it's for the month of January.
Okay. And then, yeah, and okay, there's the resolution for the East End.
Carnival.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah,
Excellent.
oh, and I guess, oh, no, that's not me. I think the economic development.
Yes, so that is
That's later.
coming,
Action item.
action items.
Yeah, last one, they're right.
Thank you so much. Councilor Kelly?
Thank you. I've got only the seniors bill. I don't know what the newsletter is about, but I'm attending the bill meeting tomorrow night as an observer for council, and I'll be reporting back to council, and I think we'll have discussions about that at a separate meeting, but we'll wait and see what the meeting brings. But I've got the agenda for tomorrow night, and it looks fairly involved, so there's a lot of moving parts on that as well, so I'll be reporting back. As far as DSAP goes, we had a meeting yesterday. It's due to the transition. There's a number of new members, new mayors and so forth. So that was an all-day event, but it was interesting. They had a lawyer specializing in conflict of interest. And then they had a motivational lady with her own motivational business, but she was giving motivation. She deals a lot with councils and DSAPs and elected officials, and it was a motivational techniques and the ability to work well with others in your peer group. So a lot of information I'll be sharing with council down the road. Thank you.
Was it the fish lady?
No, it was not fish lady, no, but similar attitude, very, very congenial.
We had the fish lady come to.
We did, you're right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Councilor Clam?
I'm good, thanks.
Yes,
Good.
good, okay, Councilor Champagne?
I think there's anything left.
And I simply wanted to mention the East Ferris Santa Fund. We did receive a thank you letter. We also, we did have a citizen that had encouraged us to look at whether there should be a deposit site for the Caledonia Area Food Bank in our community. So we did with the Knights of Columbus, and we did a full review of what's being provided to the community. So I'm going to provide a report prepared and bring it forward at the next meeting of council on basically what has been the experience of the food bank in this past year, especially this last since the pandemic, because we've been in regular contact with them, and so that will be an information piece for our next meeting. On that note, we'll move forward then with action items.
Thank you. I require a mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Trahan and seconded by Councillor Champagne. That council approve the correspondence and information as circulated with the agenda of January 10th, 2023.
On favor? Council Champagne, did you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
sorry, just missed it. All in favor, all in favor, c'est bon. Approval of list of council memberships for the year 2023.
I require a mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Bernard and seconded by Councillor Kelly. The council approved the 2023 membership list as presented at the regular meeting of January. At the regular council meeting held January 10th, 2023.
The only one that was missing was Roma is not there, right?
Oh, it's not.
No,
It's part of the annual.
it's.
Oh, it's a mo-
part
yeah,
of the
you don't get a
email.
Roma
Okay, you don't
membership.
get a, okay, so it's, understood that in the email membership
Emo
is the
Roma,
Roma,
emo
is there,
Roma.
okay. C'est bon, all in favor, has everyone seen the list, have you seen the list?
It's the same
It's
as
the same as last
all
year.
the time.
We can
Nothing
read
is
it,
new.
it's fairly quick.
Okay,
AMO, FCN, Phenom, OGRA, which actually we think we'll take that one off this year. ESNP, North Prairie Sound Vet Committee. That's the amount, about $250 a year that we provide. AFMO, the North Main District Chamber of Commerce, and then MEPCO, which is Municipal Employer Pension Center of Ontario. They advocate on behalf of the pension group. It's a small amount. Same as last year.
Good. All in favor? C'est bon, carried, thank you so much. East Terrace Carnival, member,
Mover and a seconder, please, moved by Councillor Champagne and seconded by Councillor Bernard. That the municipality of East Ferris has no objection to the East Ferris Carnival Committee hosting the 2023 Winter Carnival from February 16th to February 19th, 2023. And further, that council declares this a community festival and has no objection to the applications for appropriate licenses.
I guess we should just mention that the carnival actually starts February 10th, I believe. But this is just because it's for the liquor license, so that's why they put those dates. Just, c'est bon, all in favor? C'est bon, thank you so much. Near North Crime Stoppers, member,
Mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Bernard and seconded by Deputy Mayor Rutherford. Whereas Crime Stoppers, an internationally recognized program, is a partnership of the public, the police, and the media, providing citizens with a proactive program to anonymously assist our police partners in the solving of crime, contributing to an improved quality of life in our communities. And whereas to date, Near North Crime Stoppers has received over 20,800 calls from tipsters, contributing to the arrest of 1,772 individuals. Over 4.3 million in property and cash has been recovered, and over 57 million in drugs destined for our communities have been seized because of Crime Stoppers' valuable information. Now, therefore, Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of East Ferris hereby authorizes the declaration of the month of January 2023 as Crime Stoppers Month in the municipality of East Ferris.
all in favor? C'est bon. Carrie, thank you so much. So council meeting January 24th. So this is the question. We are attending the Roma conference. Do we cancel the meeting on January 24th? As people will be traveling back and some of you may need to stay a little longer for this meeting. And so, but however, we may have council business. We'll need to call a special meeting. And so I'd like to make sure that council is in support of that direction, right?
And if you have council business, you call a special meeting, it's for the purpose of the business you're going to be dealing with. We've got to specify.
We'll have to
correct?
specify, yes.
Okay. I require a mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Champagne and seconded by Councillor Tahan. Whereas council members will be attending the 2023 Roma conference being held in Toronto from January 22nd, 2023 to January 24th, 2023. Be it hereby resolved that council for the municipality of East Ferris cancel the regular scheduled council meeting of January 24th, 2023, and that a special meeting of council be scheduled in accordance with section 240 of the municipal act as amended at the call of the chair if required.
All in favor? C'est bon, Carrie, thank you so much. We come to item F, the North Mellon Council of Ontario. invited the municipality to speak at their annual conference. So as with many of our organizations, we have a Canadian Economic Development Association, and we also have a provincial association. And they were very impressed with the resolution that the municipality of East Ferris passed with respect to childcare. And so as a result of that, they wrote to Madame Kirk seeking additional information. And so maybe I'll turn it over to the Deputy Mayor Louis Akers, who would be a member of the panel. And so today we're seeking your support for Deputy Mayor Louis Akers to attend this particular meeting.
So today I had a meeting with the people who, so it's on February 7th, they're having a pre-conference meeting about the care economy. So care economy is using economics development and also supporting PSWs and ECEs and our daycare to support our workers to, you know, feel secure to go to work and make sure things are being taken care of at home. So also health, but they are really focusing on childcare at this pre-conference meeting. And so there are 4 panelists, and they had asked East Ferris to attend because we had the resolution that passed and was supported by so many other municipalities and was noted. And then these people that are organizing this work in those municipalities and thought it would be nice for us to be in attendance and need to be a presenter.
Where is it?
In Toronto.
Sure.
Yeah, so I have it at home. It's
Good idea.
yeah. And then the 8th and 9th is the regular conference, so I would just be attending since I'm down there. So
Good.
I require a mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Kelly and seconded by Councillor Fahang. That Deputy Mayor Roy Akers be approved to attend the Economic Development Council of Ontario Conference to be held in Toronto from February 7th to February 9th, 2023.
All in favor? The vote carried. Thank you so much. So when you come back, let us know how it went and look forward to the outcome. On that note, I do apologize, and just a quick question. When we do attend the Roma conference, we had asked to meet with the director who had written to us on childcare, and we're still pursuing that to make sure to make the arrangement. So that's still a possible meeting when we're in Toronto, as we continue on our journey of different elements to raise the issue of childcare in our community. So that's one.
Yeah. We also don't have any delegations at Roma, whenever we had decided
No,
not to put those
exactly,
forward.
yeah.
Unless council wanted to be with our local MPP while we were there, but I mean, he seems to be.
We may need to go to Asia. It's incredible. The
Yeah.
schedule is so impressive, our MVP. Yeah, very much.
Our MPs in Australia.
Wait, same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
as much, both are very
Yeah,
impressive. We're very fortunate that, yeah, well said. So on that note, we do move forward to approval of account payments. Thank you.
I require a mover and a seconder, moved by Deputy Mayor Roy Akers and Councillor Trahan, seconded by Councillor Trahan. The council approved the general accounts for the municipality of East Ferris as indicated in the check register dated January 10th, 2023, in the amount of $1,130,691.29.
All in favor? The bond carried. Thank you. And so I don't believe there's any other, wait, Councillor Kelly, go
I
ahead.
just want to congratulate Councillor Champagne. He was nominated to be on the Roma Board of Directors. Just a little background, at one time we had our mayor as a director of Roma. We had Councillor Champagne at the time as a president of OGRA, and myself was sitting on Phenom. I think it's one of the few times for a small municipality we had 3 councillors and mayors sitting on provincial major boards. So it was a real feather in our cap. It got us on the map, quite frankly.
Past mayor was chair of
Exactly. The closed
So we
down
met-
at
we-
way best, and he was also very instrumental at DSAP as well as owners. In fact, in City Hall, there's a hall there's a room named after our former mayor Gilmore. Where DSAB meets. So very significant municipality for a small municipality.
And then we have our engineer also that's.
Remember if you started.
Second vice.
Yes.
Second vice
Years.
of the Ontario Board for Engineers. Yeah,
And at the Roma conference, when council does their voting for the nomination. Our council will be voting under rural,
Yeah, zone 9.
zone 9? Okay, so it's rural.
Well, it's important, eh?
Because the previous mayor always said, like, whenever you send in your registration, you had to put if you were central, rural, and you made me send an email to everybody in the world saying it's rural.
Not thinking it's gonna happen, but there's 3 past presidents that are running for the Roma board
Oh,
in
yeah,
different areas.
Yeah.
We're trying to get them back together again.
yes. But we'll be there with you, voting, and so, well done, well said, thank you for bringing that up.
no, congratulations, we're
Good accolades.
definitely, yep.
It's some money.
On that note, we move forward to in camera.
Okay, I require a mover and a seconder, moved by Councilor Kelly and seconded by Deputy Mayor Whitaker. That this meeting proceeds to in-camera session at 7:37 PM under section 239 bracket 2 of the Municipal Act. In order to address a matter pertaining to H, information explicitly supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board by Canada, a province or territory, or a crown agency, or any of them.
C'est bon. All in favor, proceeding in camera, c'est bon. And so, a quick minute for